morning with a few clouds around. Temperatures will gradually make their way into the lower 70s, near record high temperatures for this time of the year. Strong winds out of the south will continue to move in and could gust up to 30 miles per hour at times. Mild temperatures will continue for the beginning of the work week, and we could see the chance for showers to roll back into the forecast. I'm WOWT6 Weather Authority meteorologist Peter Sherwood, News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Schrock Innovations presents Nebraska's #1 independent computer repair company with offices in Omaha and Lincoln. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with 3 service centers, one in Lincoln, one in Omaha, and one in Papillion, where all 3 are available today from noon to 5 to serve your computer needs. Also, our new website, SchrockInnovations.com. It's going to be a popular place that we talk about a lot on the program today as we talk to you about the preventative maintenance checkup sale that is still ongoing for another week or so here in the service centers, as well as computers and things along those lines. So make sure you check that out, too. Want to say a quick welcome to for those of you who are watching us right now on our Facebook live stream, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. You can pop on there, and you have a live camera into the studio. During commercial breaks, we try to switch we only have a few minutes, but we try to switch the microphone inputs, and you get to hear some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that happens here in the studios while you're otherwise listening to various promotional announcements. On the radio, you can actually see what's going on behind the scenes in the studio. All right, the numbers to join us this morning on the program, if you have a question or a comment, we're here to help you out with your computer problems. So if you have a question or a comment, you can give us a call, 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Those are the numbers to join us on the program. And as I mentioned, if you ask a question or make a comment, we'll get you in the drawing for a Schrock Innovations $25 gift certificate. All right. So, housekeeping is out of the way. Whew. Watch us on Facebook. Call in with questions. We're going to talk about cool stuff. Talk about cool stuff. What's the cool stuff we're going to talk? I'm glad you asked. All right, so today we got some interesting stuff. Now, you may have seen some of these stories throughout the week at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, but IBM got awarded a patent for the absolute stupidest thing ever. I mean, they actually got an award. I didn't even know this award existed. They actually got a stupid Patent of the Month award. So they actually exist. But IBM got a stupid Patent of the Month award. Also, I don't know if you have been following the trend lately to increase minimum wages to a livable wage. Not talking about the politics of it, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, but the consequences of doing that. Some people's wages are going to go up and they'll get, quote unquote, a living wage. Other businesses are going to go the way of Wendy's and their 90-degree lab. Their 90-degree lab basically is automating the entire restaurant. And I know when the lovely Kimberly and I were driving back from Florida, we actually stopped in at a McDonald's that had automated kiosks instead of front counter staff. They had just installed them, so they still had the front counter staff. But to give you an idea of the direction this is going, let's just look at Panera. We're going to talk about that on the show here as we go along. Also, Jeff Bezos has a new delivery destination in mind for Amazon, so we're going to tell you about that. You remember those Galaxy S7 Note phones that erupt into flame on their own? That was a feature. Yep, you should have paid extra for that. That was a feature. We're going to tell you how they are baking that into other smartphones and mobile devices going forward into the future here. If you're a Gmail user, you got a freebie this week. And if you're a Mac user, you're getting a little bit more than you bargained for on the virus front. There may now be a way for hackers to infiltrate your iPad and your iPhone, so don't miss that. We're going to talk about that here on the program as well. But first, before we get into that, I feel obligated to tell you the service centers are doing their best to stay caught up. Lincoln is in a moderate queue right now, definitely not as bad as it's been in the past for a maintenance checkup sale. Part of that's because of the certificates. But so they're in a moderate queue. You expect about a 2-day wait to get your computer back there. Omaha is just about out of queue, actually. When I say queue, what that means is all the bench spots are full, and we have a line of people waiting to get on the bench. Between all 3 service centers, we have about 70 bench spots total. So being in queue means there's 70 people on the bench, and we have a line. The Omaha Service Center is just yesterday evening out of queue, so they actually have a couple open bench spots. And the Papillion Service Center has a very small queue, about 3 computers, so they're going to be out of queue here by the end of the day, unless you have something to say about it. But the preventative maintenance checkup sale is why we're so busy right now at Schrock at what is normally a pretty quiet time of year. The preventative maintenance checkup, we recommend you get it every 6 months. And during the preventative maintenance check, we look for and resolve tons of problems with your computer. So, for example, hard drive failures. You know, I tell you to install Drive Advisor. Some of you have, some of you haven't. If you come in for a maintenance checkup, Drive Advisor is a snap test. It's a quick test of the drive. It's possible that a drive has problems that Drive Advisor hasn't seen yet. And eventually those problems will come to the forefront and Drive Advisor will see them. But if you can find out about them before they come to the forefront, that gives you the time to get your data off that drive and get everything taken care of so that you don't end up in my data recovery lab. I'd love to see you. I love to see my customers. You don't love to see me in the data recovery lab. Come see me out front, shake hands, we'll chew the fat, but don't see me in the data recovery lab. It's not fun. And we get your data back, but it's unfortunately, it's between $400 and $2,000 to get your data back. But we do our best to keep that price down for you. Had some great recoveries this week. We saved people a ton of money this week. But that's another story. The preventative maintenance checkup, the best way I can describe it is I got a call on my show yesterday. And a caller had an HP DV7 laptop. And he said, when I hit the power button, the lights come on, the fans start spinning, but nobody's home. There's no activity. The computer's not doing anything. Okay, well, why does that happen? What happened to his laptop, and this was a common problem with the DV7 series, is if you notice your laptop, when you're typing on it, the surface of it gets really, really hot. Some laptops just naturally run warm. The DV7 was one of those laptops. Unfortunately, your laptop's cooling system is actually liquid cooled. Inside the little tines and the little tubes in there, there's a liquid that evaporates and condenses, and it moves the heat from the processor, the brain, out to the radiator where it can be exhausted. That's the hot air you feel out the side warming your coffee in the morning. So if it's my laptop anyway, it's warming the coffee. So basically, that's how it moves the heat. Well, what happens is if it can't move air over those tines, in other words, if you haven't had a preventative maintenance checkup in a while, what ends up happening is that airflow doesn't go through. It doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, the thing gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And those tubes expand just microscopically. They expand just a little bit. And the gases that are evaporating actually leak out of the tube. And when they kind of fizzle out of the tube, what ends up happening then is it has no more liquid in it because the liquid's not condensing. It's getting out of the tube. And all of a sudden your laptop can't cool at all. Now the brain gets hot, the graphics chip gets hot, and they can actually deball from the motherboard. That's where the microchip gets so hot that it starts to melt its own solder and separates from the motherboard. And when that happens, you get no-go land. Now, it was kind of sad. I felt bad for the guy because I'm literally telling him if you would have had a preventative maintenance checkup while this was, while it was working fine, when there wasn't apparently a need to have anything done, it would have prevented this problem. You'd have saved yourself buying a $500 to $700 new laptop. But he didn't. But I had to say that because we kind of have a preventative maintenance checkup sale going on, and it was like, case in point, this is why you need to do it, especially laptops, especially Macs. Macs need preventative maintenance just as much as any other computer, so bring it on in and we'll get it taken care of. So here's the deal. At the shop, you can get a preventative maintenance checkup. It's like 8 hours of work, and normally it's $90. So, a little over $10 an hour, not quite a livable way or living wage or whatever you'd call it. But then again, we don't have robots yet. So, once we get robots, maybe then we can pay people $15 an hour. We'll just have far fewer people. I don't know. But anyway, right now, you can bring your computer into the service center. We'll go ahead and do the preventative maintenance checkup for half off, which makes it $45. That is certainly not a living wage, okay? So trust me, I tell the guys, you make sure you're doing these and you're getting them done right and you're getting them done the first time because I don't want to see any of them come back under warranty for anything because we're not making enough at $45 to cover your time on them in the first place, let alone a second time. But this is it's a real estate concept. You should have 4 touches a year with your customers. You should have 4 opportunities for your customers to have contact with you so you stay top of mind. That's what we're trying to do here. So basically, this is one of those touches. This is an opportunity for you to come into the service center, get an unbelievable deal on a preventative maintenance checkup, and it's an opportunity for us to remind you that we love what we do and we're really good at it. And so let's get your computer fixed up and going. Now, unfortunately, some people can't bring their computers in right now. You might have a kid off at college or a grandkid off at college. You might just be too busy to bring it in right now. Life waits for us. Yeah, everything's Schrock-based. Everybody waits on Schrock, I'm sure. So, you might just be too busy. I get it. You're too busy. We have a plan for that. Used to be in the past, you'd have to call the service center and purchase what we call a preventative maintenance checkup certificate. The certificate gets you a preventative maintenance checkup anytime in the next 6 months. So you buy it for $45 today, and you have 6 months to use it. So you don't have to wait in line. You don't care if we're in queue or not. You don't care about any of that stuff, because I look at some other computer shop websites in town, and it always makes me laugh because there's all this information on the website about what's going on with the company. And I'm just like, no, nobody cares. Nobody cares, that you got a new billboard. Nobody cares that, your dog had puppies. Nobody cares that your kids are graduating. They're going to your website because they want their computer fixed. Pretty straightforward, So, we don't put that kind of stuff on our homepage. There'll be a little blurb about what's going on, like a little slider or something, but it's like, hey, do-it-yourself help. Hey, contact us. Hey, here's computer repair. Here's data recovery. Here's all the stuff we can do for you. What do you need? Well, right now, you don't have time to bring your computer in, but you need a preventative maintenance checkup. So how do you do it? You can go to SchrockInnovations.com, and it's a featured product on our new homepage where you can actually click on it and you can buy it. You can buy the maintenance checkup certificate on our website. It's also available under the shop thing. You can go to specials. Preventative maintenance checkup is available there. It is $45. You pick which service center you want to go to. You don't have to go to that shop, but you just pick one that you're closest to. Say you're going to go to that one. That's how we deliver it. We'll send you an email. So the email acts as your receipt for your certificate. We also have a record in that service center that you select that you're going to be coming in. And basically, you don't have to do anything. You can buy more than one. We have a lot of people buying 3 or 4. One for their computer. They're only good for 6 months, okay? So I had one guy who bought, we saw in our system he had 4 computers. He had 3 computers, and he bought 4 certificates. And I called him, and I'm like, they're only good for 6 months. And he said, oh, well, one's for my son. He's off at college. I'm like, oh, okay. That makes sense. So basically, you can get as many as you want over there on the website at SchrockInnovations.com. If you're not one of those people that likes to order things on the internet, and the site is totally secure. You got the little green padlock and the whole bit. But if you don't like to put your credit card in and do that kind of stuff, as always, you can call the service centers, and we will go ahead and process your payment over the phone for you. We still do have human beings in the service centers, for now. We're going to get those burger flipping robots when they're ready, and then you're out of luck. But then at that point, you just want to go to the website because you're just going to get a burger flipping grease covered robot at the front desk. But yeah, so check it out, SchrockInnovations.com. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Let's jump into those phone lines real quick here. I don't even have my call screen up here. Why is my call track? My call track's missing. Let's just go to, there it is, Dave. Dave, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing okay, but one of my computers, I think, has just bit the dust.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know exactly how I did it. I'm usually very, very careful about not opening anything that I haven't verified was actually sent from somebody. But I come home from work, and I opened up my laptop. It's protected by an ESET program for antivirus.
Yeah.
And I open it up, and there's all kinds of stuff on my screen that I have never seen. And do you remember the old DOS screens?
Oh yeah.
And,
yeah, I'm not that young.
Okay. So I had a couple of those open, and it just, immediately it's like, this doesn't work right. And I went to try to run a antivirus check on my computer.
Okay.
And the icons are gone. And I went ahead and tried to go to the folder to use it, and you click on the icon that's there, and it says it doesn't exist.
Oh, boy.
And so I shut down, I refire back up, and I get this message from Microsoft that says you have to go ahead and relog back on, that something has happened, and we want you to log back on. And with everything else, it's like, this isn't right. I'm not going to give it my password. So I told it, I forgot what my password is.
Okay.
And it sat for a few seconds, and it says, we're having issues right now. You're going to have to try again later.
Yeah.
I picked up something somewhere, and I'm scared to use it.
Gotcha.
And I have completely disconnected it from my router because I don't know if it is now capable of infecting anything else on our system. I don't have them where they can share files back and forth. And I'm just wondering, it's an older computer. I was starting to have time issues with it. It was starting to run slow.
Gotcha.
The software was kind of run up to date, but am I better just landfilling this thing and starting over, or is there actually any type of future? I'm not worried about the data.
Okay.
I have Carbonite, and so all the data is safe, but I think it's safe. But I'm just wondering, what can I... Is there help for this thing? Or, they're getting so cheap, sometimes it's just easy to start over.
Oh, yeah. This is a classic relationship question here, Should I work it out, or should I just start over? And, starting over sounds really romantic until you have to do it. And then you realize there were so many things you took for granted with your previous computer that starting over, you're like, oh, my goodness, all of a sudden, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, oh, my gosh, the grass was greener where I was at, So here's the thing. Dave, when everybody asks me, when is the right time to upgrade or move on from your computer? The right time to move on or upgrade is when that computer no longer does the things you need it to do. So when the computer was working fine, before the virus issue, when the computer was working fine, was it doing the stuff that you needed it to do? Was it getting on the internet? Was it doing bill pay? Was it doing all those things you needed?
It was at times starting to run very slow.
Okay.
I'm a volunteer fireman.
Okay.
I need sometimes to find out where this call is. And once, it didn't pop up the screen to tell me until after I was back. Totally unacceptable.
That's not good at all. That is not good at all. All right, so basically at that point then, I was going to say, Dave, if it was something you wanted to save, we could bring it in for a preventative maintenance checkup and, get the, scan it for viruses. That's part of the checkup. But if, on the other hand, you're not happy with it, then we should probably look at a new one. Now, on our website at SchrockInnovations.com, I was just made aware by a thank you on Facebook, by the way, that the preventative maintenance certificate has gone up to $90 again. Apparently the sale ended on the website. But us humans continue sales when we're in queue and people aren't coming in because we're very busy. So I'm going to get Alfonso working on that here momentarily to get that marked back down again. So sit tight on the website there. We'll get that taken care of. But also under specials, we have an i5 laptop that's an open box item. This is an i5 for $499. So, I mean, it's a phenomenal laptop. Also on our website, we have our Resolute, which, like you said, they're getting so cheap. Now, the Resolute is a $500 laptop that has a solid-state hard drive built into it. And if you go to one of the box stores, your entry price for solid-state stuff is like $800 normally. So, I mean, it's an amazing deal. It's one of the innovations we have at Schrock. Then you can check that out on our website, too. But, yeah, Dave, I mean, honestly, if you're at the point where the computer wasn't meeting your needs before it went down, and I'll guarantee you it's infected with something, antivirus stuff doesn't disappear for no reason. If that's the case, we probably should think about moving to a new unit. And then, like you said, if there's no data, you mentioned Carbonite. You can recover your data from Carbonite. However, it will be extraordinarily slow. We're talking like 72 hours slow to restore it.
That's fine. I'm a truck driver. As long as it's back next week and when I get home, I'm good.
There you go.
But my question for you now is this. I thought ESET was supposed to be one of the better antiviruses, and it took it out. Is there a better one today that I should be looking at replacing it with? When I replace this thing?
I would, obviously we recommend Semantic Endpoint in the service centers. Semantic Endpoint is the industry best. There are two different ones that people ask all the time, what's the best one? And if you come into my service center and you have McAfee installed in your computer, before we even scan it, we ask you if you want to authorize a virus removal, because odds are you're infected. If you have the free stuff that Cox gives you, odds are you're infected. If you have AVG or Avast, odds are you're infected. And I mean, there are people who will call and who will post on Facebook and tell me these programs are amazing. This is not, that's not the case, that they're fine. We see, especially right now, hundreds of computers a week, and we know which ones work and which ones don't. The two that work really well, obviously Semantic Endpoint, or we wouldn't recommend it. Number two is Kaspersky. The Russian-made antivirus software is actually really good. So it does a good job. The nice thing about Symantec, the difference between the two, Symantec is actively managed, which means if you get an infection on your computer, number one, if you get Symantec Endpoint from Schrock, you get a virus-free guarantee. If you get it on your computer, something goes wrong, we fix it for free. But when something hits your computer, like this virus that came to you, Endpoint doesn't ask you what to do. It just handles it. And if it doesn't know what to do, it asks us what to do, and then we tell it how to handle it. And then that updates the rules for all of our other customers, so then it knows how to handle it on all their computers. So our customers, Schrock customers, just don't get infected. That's the bottom line. They just don't get infected as long as they're running Symantec Endpoint. As an ancillary there's another product called Secure Updater that you should have as well. Secure Updater keeps your third-party software up to date. There was a big update for Flash this week. So last week there was a big update for Flash. So if you didn't get the Flash Player update last week, that's something Secure Updater would install for you. The reason that's important is even if you have Endpoint, if you have this big Flash Player thing, and Endpoint is on your computer, and the virus comes in and zap, it goes right through because there's a vulnerability in Flash because it's not updated. That goes right through, and Endpoint trusts Flash because it has to. So
what are we at price-wise for the Symantec?
Oh, it's ludicrously expensive. Oh, yeah. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. No, the first time when you install it, it's $160 for the first year, and then each additional year, it's actually $60 to renew. So you compare that to some of the other products out there, like the Norton Security Suite, it's about $80 a year to renew. So it's actually cheaper in the long run. There's a little bit of a pill to get it installed because the technicians are going to uninstall your old antivirus, install your new antivirus. One of the cool things also is the Symantec Endpoint is available on the Schrock Innovations website as well. You can purchase it under software, and it'll install right on your computer. You never even have to come into the service center.
Oh, that's awesome, because I live 140 miles away.
Yeah, we're doing some things with this new Schrock Innovations website, and we're stretching our legs. We had people in North Platte and Kearney buying maintenance checkup certificates this last week, and I'm like, they must be going to be coming in for a football game or something, going to drop their computer off and come back next week for the next game. I don't know. But one of the things that's going to be really cool is in April, we're actually going to open up the shipping option on the website, and we'll be able to ship our modular laptops and desktops across the country. It's going to be pretty phenomenal.
Awesome. Hey, thank you for your time.
All right. Hey, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Those are the numbers to join us on the show. Of course, if you ask a question or make a comment, we'll get you in the drawing for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Yours up for grabs. All right. I have texted Alfonso. We're going to find out how early Alfonso's children wake up in the morning to get that price fixed on the preventative maintenance checkup certificate on the website. It is at $90 right now. It should be half off still for the rest of this week. So we're going to go ahead and get that changed for you. In the meantime, we have some fun stories to cover. Normally I'd take a break, 5 minutes ago, but that was a good call. I didn't want to interrupt the guy, so we didn't do it. But basically, if we go to this IBM patent store, this got a lot of traction on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, by the way. But this thing was nuts. So if you've ever sent an email, right? So you send an email to somebody on like a Friday night, and you get an email that bounces back. I get this all the time when we send Schrock emails. People are out of the office, so it bounces an email back. Sorry, I'm out of the office. I'll return on Monday. If you need immediate assistance, please contact so-and-so at this number. Cool. That's called an out-of-office email autoresponder. It's an autoresponder. It auto-responds, or if we were going to stretch this out, it automatically sends a response email back to you when the person you're trying to reach can't be reached. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, right? The out-of-office email responder is now patented by IBM. Yes, that's right. If I only had a nickel for every time, oh, golly, I'd have a lot of nickels. So basically IBM filed for this patent apparently in 2010 when this was still a relatively new idea. Since 2010, and I say relatively, like that would have been pushing it in 2010. But since 2010, pretty much every email system on the planet employs autoresponders. It was one of those good ideas. It was like when Apple patented the rounded rectangle. The rounded rectangle, that would be ludicrous. We can't patent a rounded rectangle, but we could patent a rectangle with rounded corners. Totally different, right? That's it. By calling this an autoresponder, totally different than an automatically responding email. All right, so IBM gets the patent. Now, are you going to have to pay a nickel? If I had a nickel, are you going to have to do that every time? Oh my gosh, this is going to get expensive. All these email services have it built in. Are they all going to have to send out updates destroying their service, reducing what you get for your money. Well, thankfully, IBM, they must have tapped Watson. Watson is their artificial intelligence computer that wins Jeopardy and stuff. They tapped him and said, Watson, is there any way that we can make money off of our newly acquired patent for email autoresponders? And Watson's like, computing? No, you would be a jerk. Except it didn't say jerk. It has a very colorful language database. You'd be a jerk. And is there any way that we can make money off this and not be a jerk? Computing? Nope, you're still a jerk. Yep, so no. In an act of benevolence, thanks to Watson, IBM has announced that their newly acquired patent, that they probably spent like $100,000 in attorney's fees to get, is now going to be made open and available to the public. So now your email autoresponders can send with peace, and you will know that everything is okay when you're out of the office because somebody else got an automatic message telling them that you're out of the office. So that's pretty straightforward stuff there. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. As I mentioned, all of the stories that we talk about here on the radio show do get posted to facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. We are live streaming there right now, so I can see that there's a bunch of you watching right now, so hello. During the commercial break here at the bottom of the hour, we actually switched the microphones, and you get to see what happens behind the scenes. And there's going to be some fun stuff happening behind the scenes, so if you're not on Facebook right now, you might want to pop open that Facebook feed real quick, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Make sure you click the like button, like Schrock in there, so that way when we do go live, it pops up. We don't go live for stupid stuff like, hey, look, here's me eating breakfast. That'd be stupid. We don't do that. But we will go live for the radio show, for example. Or, if we're in the green room over at KMTV where we do the morning blend on Monday mornings, and there's something interesting going on in there, like there's a bunch of wild animals in there or something, or like one time there was a lady in there that ate like a pizza that was literally like as big as a truck tire. When interesting things are happening when the lady's eating the truck tire pizza, we might go live with that. That's kind of cool, right? But, what you had for breakfast or, my morning rant on the way to work, you're not going to get any of that stuff. That doesn't happen. So we got that going on as well. So when we come back from the break, we've got stories here. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he's like Mr. McFeely with a special delivery for you, except this delivery is far out. He wants to set up a new delivery route. Wendy's is automating everything to get rid of all their employees, just like Panera. I'm serious. I'm not trying to rag on Panera, but, I mean, why do we eat there anymore? I mean, it's clean food, right? But, like, you do everything yourself. No one's serving you. I mean, I can do that at home. And I guess they make the food for you. So we're going to talk about that, too. So more of Compute This coming up, 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Your calls also coming up next on Compute This.
Need a website fast? Schrock Innovations can build your website, place your content, and drive customers through your doors for a lot less than you might think. Call Schrock Innovations today and watch how we can drive your business's profits. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has.
State-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians.
All right, so if you can hear me now, we have a guy, Alfonso, in our service center who does all of our web stuff. The guy is phenomenal. He is earth-shatteringly amazing. And so I get this message on Facebook, oh gosh, Thor, your certificate price is $90 and not $45. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I go and I'm texting him while I'm on that call. I'm trying to talk while I'm texting. It was not a good plan. I'm like, yeah, tell me all about that problem. Like 2 minutes later. So here's the text messages. This is me being like, oh my gosh, desperate. Hey, Alfonso, because I'm trying to wake him up. Emergency, because I can't write complete sentences because I'm talking. MC certificate is full price on specials. I'm on the air now. Please hurry. Notice I didn't ask him what to do. I didn't ask him for anything. Because I couldn't think. I was like, So, and here's Alfonso. And when he's in trouble, and it's a long story, but when he's in trouble, he's Ernesto. Ernesto!
because something's wrong. So, good morning, Thor. I just updated it. You told me it was going to be on special till the 5th. Well, it depends on how busy we get. So here's the thing. I still haven't sent the email to my customers yet. So there are customers that have not heard about the maintenance checkup special yet. So we got to send the email, but I don't want to send the email while we're in queue. That doesn't make any sense. So we have another week. All right, we're going back on the air, guys. Thanks for watching on Facebook. I appreciate it. We'll be back here in a second.
It'll be windy at times, and showers will roll into the forecast by the evening hours. I'm WOWT 6 Weather Authority meteorologist Peter Sherwood on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we do all kinds of cool stuff. Now, if you were watching during the break on Facebook there, that last call, there was so much happening behind the scenes, it wasn't even funny. I went through the text messages between me and my development staff while I was doing it, and we've got the maintenance checkup certificate price fixed. I don't know what time his children wake up, but he's awake now. But it is back at $45, and I was reminded that it was my mistake, not his. Thank you for that, Ernesto. I appreciate it. Yeah, you guys watching Facebook know what that means. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Preventative maintenance checkup certificates are on special again on the Schrock Innovations website for $45. You can check it out there, SchrockInnovations.com. Also, other specials, computers, tablets, laptops, the whole bit. You can do it all on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Let's jump back into those phones. Jeff, you're the next caller of the program today. How can I help you on Compute This?
Yes, I've installed your Drive Advisor, and it registers my external drive, but it doesn't find my C drive.
Okay.
Is it possibly that my C drive is that old?
It's possible. What's the brand of the computer?
I got it through a friend of mine.
Okay. And how old is it? I mean, is this thing are we talking Windows 98 here, or?
It's not 98. We upgraded. I do have 7 now.
So it started with XP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all hard drives have smart self-reporting capabilities. Some very select few chipsets, however, on motherboards do not pass those smart attributes back through. And so Drive Advisor is technically you're running Windows 7, and technically it's compatible with Windows 7 and higher. So Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. But since your computer was originally an XP computer, even though it's compatible with the operating system, it may not be compatible with the hardware entirely, and that's why it's not detecting the C drive, but it is detecting the stuff that's plugged into the USB ports.
Right.
So that's probably what's going on there. It doesn't mean that your hard drive is bad, Jeff.
Right.
But it does mean you should probably come in for a preventative maintenance check so we can test it.
I have been thinking about that and so forth. By the way, on preventive maintenance, do you also do Chromebooks?
Yes, we do, actually. Chromebooks don't require – there's a lot of maintenance things we can't do to a Chromebook because, for example, there's no Windows registry to clean because it's Chrome OS. But they still have the same heat. I mean, a lot of the Chromebooks are actually passively cooled, so it's really important those stay clean. But the same kind of physical cleaning regimen. Also, if they have removable hard drives, those removable hard drives can go bad. You can't run Drive Advisor on a Chromebook, but we can take the hard drive and test it separate from the Chromebook to make sure it's not going bad. Now, the toss-up here is Chromebooks are pretty cheap. They're $200 or so. So how much money do you want to spend maintaining a Chromebook that you can replace for $200? It's kind of a toss-up. But the thing is, what a lot of people don't realize, everybody gets so hung up on how inexpensive replacing a computer is. Oh, it's only X $100. It's like, when does anybody say that? Like, I'm going to drive my truck rough because, new set of tie rods is only like $300. I'm going to run into that curb. Why people don't do that except with computers. Then it's okay with your computer. Like, I'm going to run this thing into the dirt. I know it's telling me it needs some, minor thing done to it or some preventative maintenance, but heck, why should I mess with that when I could buy a new computer? But it's the data on the hard drive that makes a lot of sense. The data on the hard drive is what goes bye-bye when your hard drive fails. And that data is irreplaceable. Now, on a Chromebook, you may have a lot of that stored in the cloud as well, but there still could be stuff on the actual drive that needs to get saved. So you don't want to have a situation where your I don't know, what's the word for it? Cutting off your nose to smite your face, you know?
Right.
So you take care of your stuff and it'll take care of you.
Okay. All right. That takes care of my questions there, sir.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
All right. You have a good day.
All right. You too. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Those are the numbers to join us on the show. Of course, if you ask a question or make a comment, as I mentioned earlier, we will put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. All right. So, on the stories here, Wendy's. This one is kind of interesting. Everybody is always excited about automation and how it's going to take all of our jobs and the world is going to end and things are going to get, rough. Well, it's happening and it's going to keep happening. Wendy's has come to the point from their 90 Degrees lab. They're going to roll out more self-service kiosks. They're going to use some software development for mobile ordering. You see this happening at places like Taco Bell where you can order with an app now, things like that. So this is going to continue to go on. This is not going to go away. And so Wendy's is cooking up a digital transformation plan with kiosk, mobile apps, and customer experiences in their lab. So imagine a Wendy's where you walk into the lobby and you place your order at a kiosk. Then your order is actually made by humans in the kitchen. There's still humans in the kitchen. There's not burger flipping robots yet. We're getting there, but not quite yet. So they're going to get that taken care of in the kitchen for you. Then, once that's taken care of, you get your food back out. You can order it online ahead of time, so it's ready for you when you get there. I mean, heck, we're even in a world right now where if you read the McDonald's quarterly report, which I don't usually read the McDonald's quarterly report, but I saw a story about it, and it was intriguing because McDonald's, they've lost 500,000 customers to other fast food chains. Not to casual dining. What they're figuring out now is people aren't leaving restaurants like Wendy's and McDonald's for Panera or for Five Guys for gourmet burgers. They're going to like Burger King. They're going to other fast food places because, well, McDonald's food is, nobody goes to McDonald's because they want to eat a salad or a wrap or a mocha latte. I mean, no, you go to McDonald's for some deliciously beef fat fried French fries and a greasy sopping burger. That's why you want to eat at McDonald's. I didn't eat at McDonald's. I didn't get excited when I was a kid. Like, yay, Grandma's taking me to McDonald's. I'm going to get a wrap. No. My son doesn't do that. Although my son did eat 4 slices of a large pizza the other night. Then his stomach was upset for hours, and he was like, I don't feel good. Like, there's nothing we can do for gluttony, man. They don't make a pill for that. You're gonna have to stick this one out, kid. Oh, because he's laying there like, don't eat that much pizza. So it's kind of how I feel after I eat McDonald's, Oh, why did I eat those chicken nuggets? So basically, what's happening here is the same thing that's happening at McDonald's. McDonald's is going to start doing home delivery, believe it or not. And you know how they're going to – I'm like, great, so now is it going to be like you become a pizza delivery driver? Now is it going to be I can become a McDonald's delivery driver? No. They're not going to have any new jobs. They're going to tap Uber drivers to deliver the McDonald's food. So now when you call your Uber to come pick you up, the car is going to smell like wet French fries, and he'll be like, hold on, we got to make a couple stops on the way, where he will then deliver the wrong orders to people at their homes. It's a really bad idea. Just go back to what you do well. Go if you haven't eaten there. There's a restaurant in town called Freddy's, and if you want beef fat fried French fries and just deliciously greasy steak burgers, like fast food how it's supposed to be, American way. That's right. So yeah, if I'm name dropping restaurants, why not? Yeah. So basically, restaurants like what Wendy's is doing, what McDonald's was doing in Georgia when I was down there, and I went through one of their test labs down in Georgia, where they're doing something similar with kiosks. This is the future of fast food. If you go to Panera right now, you walk into the front door. My wife went into Panera, and the manager of Panera says, "Hey, how are you? I don't see you in here nearly as much anymore. Hey, well, what's going on? Why'd you stop coming in so much?" And she's like, let me see. It costs $42 for a family of 4 to eat at Panera. And we're not talking like steak. We ate at Longhorn yesterday for $40-something, $49 or something like that. But $42 for a family of 4 to eat soup and sandwiches. I have to place my own order at a kiosk. I have to go sit at a table that hasn't been wiped down because the customer who bussed the table before me didn't have a cloth to wipe it down with or whatever. I'm not suggesting they put buckets and cloths out for the customers. That'd be hilarious. So you get him some napkins, and you go to the pop machine, and you get them wet, and you go wipe the table down because you don't want to put your baby at the nasty, sticky table. So you wipe it down, and you try to dry it off, and it's just never quite right. But okay, whatever. You forget about it after a minute. So then you sit down, and your food comes out, and you eat your food. After you're done eating your food, you bus your own table. You take the dishes to the trash and put them on the thing, and you sort them in the bins. The bowls go in the bin, the silverware goes in the silverware tub, and then the plates go up above on the thing, and the trays go over there. So, okay, so now we bust our own table, and now we can leave, leaving the dirty table for the next person to wipe down. Why did I stop coming here? And she asked him, she's like, why are the tables dirty? I mean, I get it, you don't have to have as many employees on the front counter. What are they doing? She's like, why aren't they out here like wiping tables down and stuff and cleaning up? And he's like, well, they got rid of them. That's the whole point of automation. The point of automation is Wendy's is estimating that if they put kiosks in all of their restaurants, their break-even time, their return on investment from labor savings, 2 years. They will in 2 years have made back everything that they need to have to break even. That's insane. So, wow. The terminals, the kiosks cost about $5,000 a terminal to put in. So do the math on that. You put 3 or 4 kiosks in each location, and you have how many hundred or how many thousand restaurants across the country, and it only takes you 2 years to break even. So that's what Panera did. But Panera put in iPads. I mean, those should not be that's the software development. I get it. So Panera did all that stuff. They got it all taken care of. But I'm just saying, Wendy's is going high-tech. McDonald's is going high-tech. It's only a matter of time until other service industries go high-tech as well. And as they do that, we're going to be expected to do more ourselves, order from apps and things like that. We're going to lose some jobs. Hopefully we'll create some software jobs. But the point is efficiency here. So the service economy is transforming, and it's going to be probably, honestly, my generation is going to go through, we're going through kind of the second industrial revolution right now. As far as things around us are changing, and they're changing so rapidly that it feels uncomfortable. And maybe I'm the only one who feels that way. And I'm a techie guy. I'm thinking to myself, how long is it going to be till I have a robot in my house? And I really want one. Like, I'm looking at a Tesla, and I'm like, man, if it wasn't like $100,000 bajillion dollars to buy a Tesla, I'm like, maybe the Model S is going to come out. Ooh, I don't know. Elon's behind on the Model S. I'm looking at Tesla thinking, how awesome would it be when I drive into Kansas City, if I open up a service center in Kansas City, for example, how awesome would it be? Or, yes, in Round Rock, Texas, if I open up a service center there, I could just tell my Tesla to go to Round Rock, Texas. And, yes, I know I'm supposed to pay attention and keep my hands on the wheel at all times. Well, you know how things go. I got important text messages to send to Ernesto, So we get all that done. But basically, we're living in a world where when my son, okay, he's 10 years old. I put him in my lap the other day and let him back the truck out of the driveway. And you thought it was like Christmas in March, You're kidding, right? I'm like, no, that's fine. You're in my lap. I have control of the gas and brake. You can't reach the pedals anyway. So especially when you're sitting on someone's lap. God, he weighs like 110 pounds, too. He's a heavy little kid. He's like, get off my lap, kid. Oh, golly, I am not Santa. I don't have the special elfin reinforced lap. But so no, he backed the truck out of the driveway. I thought it was Christmas. And it's like, I'm looking at him thinking, is he ever going to have to learn how to drive? Is he ever going to have to? In the next 6 years, will self-driving technology be so prevalent? When you think about it, 2 model years ago, no cars were self-driving. It was fancy if you had a light on your rearview mirror that lit up to tell you there was somebody in your blind spot from the radar there. Radar. Ooh. Tesla has like 16 cameras. There's infrared. There's all kinds of stuff. And we're talking about, gee whiz, what's the car going to decide if there's a school bus full of children over here and a little old lady here, and it has to hit one of them or kill the occupant of the car? I don't know when that scenario would ever happen, but let's say it does. Because what would the human do when that scenario happens, right? So do you hit the old lady? Because, her life is, she's lived a good life. Come on, there you go. Minimal damage to the vehicle. Do you hit the school bus full of children? Maximum damage to the vehicle. And we're going to push it off a cliff or something. Or do you save the driver? Or do you send the driver into the pylon because, you shouldn't kill anybody because killing is bad. But then did you get killed by a robot? I mean, these are the questions we're going to be struggling with, right? And our kids are going to grow up and be like, what the snap were these people thinking? They're morons. Oh, my gosh. So, I mean, yeah, it's fun to think about that stuff sometimes. But automation is coming, and there's the thing you could do about it. Like right now, everyone freaks out about jobs. There's a great movie out there. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Hidden Figures. And it was they called them computers. They were actually people at NASA. That they were the computers. It was the computer department, and individual people. You're a computer. They told people you're a computer. Now it'd be like an insult. You're a computer, you cold person. No, what they meant was you are a human calculator. You compute things. Computer, one who computes. So these people sit and they compute, right? Well, then all of a sudden this big IBM computer gets put into a mainframe, gets put into the building, and their jobs are all threatened from automation. This thing can multiply two 10-digit numbers, 400,000 times a second. What can you do? I can learn how to program that big old mainframe to solve the problems you need to solve. And it's a natural evolution. There's always jobs created by technology. When we get robots to run these, who's going to maintain the kiosks, right? Now, the problem comes in when we develop android robots that can maintain technology. Because then the whole we create jobs, this creative destruction thing, well, somebody has to create the androids, the first ones, but then the androids can create themselves, and then it's Terminator and Skynet, and we all die. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. This rosy morning brought to you by Schrock Innovations, where you can now purchase a preventative maintenance checkup online for $45 that you might live long enough to use in the next 6 months. Thank you. The price is fixed, by the way, on the website, SchrockInnovations.com. You can go there and pick up one of the preventative maintenance certificates. They get you that half-off certificate. You can use it any time in the next 6 months, so you don't have to rush in today. We're open from noon to 5. You can certainly come in today. Papillion and Omaha are pretty well caught up. Lincoln is about 15 computers into queue, so it's not terrible, but about a 2-day wait in Lincoln. But you can stop into any of the 3 service centers. We're open today from noon until 5. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Dorothy's next up on the program. Dorothy, how can I help you today on Compute This?
Good morning, Thor.
Good morning.
I got an email that, my secure updater was expiring, and there was a percentage if I renewed within the next 24 hours. So I chose to do that.
Okay.
And when I got to the screen on payment, I chose PayPal.
Okay.
And what I was concerned about is after I chose PayPal, there's a paragraph of fine print, and if I read it right, and I maybe didn't, but what it seemed to me to be saying was that was authorizing Schrock to access my Discover card without going through PayPal.
Gotcha. Well, when you use PayPal for a payment, PayPal acts as a proxy, so everything goes through PayPal. So we never get your Discover card information unless, in fact, this is the crazy thing. Our new website is so secure. If you went there right now to purchase a preventative maintenance checkup certificate and you were typing in your details in the checkout and you hit pay, we never get your credit card number. It goes straight to the bank, basically, that does the authorization, and then they take care of it. So your credit card number, when you purchase online, and this is true for any vendor, when you purchase online, your credit card information is never exposed. So, yeah, well, I guess with Amazon, if you tell it to save your card, then, yeah, it might be you might expose it. But like with us, we don't save your cards. If we set up a subscription, for example, for you, where you renews your secure updater every year, it goes back to PayPal every time and renews it that way. It doesn't go through and do it, so we don't store your Discover card in our database. We don't want to do that. We don't want to have credit cards on file. If we get breached, then we're responsible for that. If the bank will take that liability off our hands and it doesn't do anything, it doesn't hurt us at all, doesn't cost us anything, then by all means, let's give that liability to the bank. So no, your payment information, especially using PayPal, is completely secure.
Okay, so I must have misunderstood that fine print then, I guess.
I think the fine print was saying that it was going to automatically bill your renewals from now on to your Discover card unless you told it not to.
I see.
But it's going to do that through PayPal. PayPal was saying it was the Discover card, not us.
That explains it then. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call, Dorothy. I appreciate it. See, it's that easy, guys. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. It's been a quiet morning today. Not a ton of calls going on. Good thing I got a lot of stories to go through, like Amazon. Amazon wants to start shipping packages to the moon. Now, there are... Yeah, who's going to sign for them? Yeah, that's a great question. Who's going to sign for these moon packages? But here's the problem, right? There are still some areas of the current globe where Amazon does not deliver. Strange patches of the Amazon rainforest, for example, where there might actually be at least, well, one human that could receive it and sign for it. But yeah, we're going to launch these packages to the moon. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but SpaceX is actually, according to Elon Musk, who is notoriously optimistic about his timetables, in 2018 they're going to launch one of their Dragon capsules, and they're going to orbit the moon and come back. It'll be the first time that the United States has orbited the moon since the 60s. It's pretty significant. And the purpose of the test, number one, it is a touristy thing. Elon is going to be on the capsule himself, so a lot of Elon's most ardent fans are like, launch your butt into space, man. Bye-bye. But on the other hand, it is also a demonstration of how safe he believes his product is, right? He's willing to launch himself into a space on one of his own rockets in a Dragon capsule, with the primary purpose of that capsule launch is to test the radiation shielding, because that's the capsule they're going to use to go to Mars. And if you've seen the artist drawings of this capsule, it's like a Star Trek bridge. No joke. I mean, it is nothing. Like, I went down to Cape Canaveral, and I got to actually see one of the Apollo capsules. I got to sit in it. Imagine the most uncomfortable lawn chair you've ever sat in your life. But instead of woven fabric, like when you're going up a set of metal fire escape stairs, how they have those little holes in them with the little tines that press up to grip your feet? That's what it's like. And it's all metal, and there's no cushion. And you lay on it. Imagine that being pressed into your back as they launch your butt into space. Oh my gosh, those Apollo astronauts were the real deal. I'll tell you what. Now, Elon stuff, you have a reclining chair, everything is molded plastic, there's flat panels all over the walls. He's the Star Trek real deal stuff. Make it so kind of thing. Did you hear Patrick Stewart wants to be an American citizen now? Patrick Stewart, Captain Picard, wants to become a U.S. citizen. And I'm like, beam him up, Scotty. Welcome aboard, Captain. And then he's like, because it's my obligation to become an American citizen so I can join the fight against Trump. And I'm like, really? I mean, come on. I don't care how you feel politically one way or the other. But you're going to become the citizen of another country to go have a beef with a politician? That's got to be the stupidest reason ever. I mean, can we give that slot to one Mexican guy? Come on, man. It's like, you're going to, whatever. So anyway, no, Elon's going to go around the moon, right? And the idea is, if we're going to have a moon base at some point, we're going to have regular supply missions that supply the moon base, right? So we're going to launch stuff to the moon base, right? Makes sense. Okay, good. So Amazon wants to have Lunar Prime, I guess, where it's kind of like, have you ever ordered something on Amazon Prime? Because Prime is supposed to be 2-day shipping. But then it says usually, in fine print, it says usually ships in 5 days. So they mean it's going to ship Prime after it ships in 5 days. In other words, it's ground. I pay for Prime. But it's going to be kind of like that. It'll be Lunar Prime. It's like usually ships in a week plus 2. Now, are they lunar days or Earth days? These are the questions we ask. So yeah, so Amazon is going to be shipping to the moon supposedly here in the near future as well. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. If you're a Gmail user, you got a free boost of new email size attachments. You can send up to 50 megabytes in an email now. To give you a visual on that, that's like 40 floppy disks stacked on top of each other. That is quite a bit. Usually the limit for most email providers is about 1 floppy disk, or maybe 2. So 50 is a pretty significant amount of data. And so we anticipate a proportionate decline in the number of people asking me when they take images directly from their digital camera and email them to their family, why they don't go through. It's because they're too big. You got to knock them down. You got to reduce the size a little bit. But now with Gmail, you don't, because it'll go through anyway. But the poor schmuck on his phone on the other end of the line, downloading these images to his phone's email over his 3G connection, probably isn't going to love you very much. Also, researchers are developing new technology that'll help prevent stolen phones and laptops from going into the wrong hands by destroying them. Now, you might remember the Galaxy S7 Note was catching on fire. They claimed it was because of a faulty battery problem or some rigmarole, whatever. No. That was a beta test of a live feature. You know how they did the recall? And they tried to bring them all back, and then when people didn't recall them, they set it up so it wouldn't charge anymore. You know why, right? Because they were going to light them all on fire. They were testing this new feature, the self-destruct mode. The new self-destruct mechanism built by researchers at the King Abdullah University of Science and Technology, KAUST, in Saudi Arabia, will provide an extra layer of defense against thieves who resell devices or access the device's sensitive data. There is no politically correct way to say this. Researchers in Saudi Arabia are developing technology that causes cell phones to explode. I'm just saying. Moving on. New Mac malware. If you have a Mac, lots of Mac users, basically we've talked about this in the past. PC users, they're a dime a dozen. They go for a fraction of a penny online. You can buy a botnet of infected PCs very inexpensively. A botnet of Mac users is much more expensive, about 50 cents a head, because they're so sophisticated they don't run antivirus. And so when they get infected, they don't know they're infected. They are harder to infect. But when they get infected, they don't know they're infected, and so they stay infected. And so basically now the biggest trend is we get calls here that ask us, can people infect my iPhone? Can people infect my iPad? Do I need to run antivirus on those? And we tell people, well, if you want to run Lookout on those devices, you could do that. But here's the thing. What if instead of infecting your iPad or your iPhone to get to your data, I simply infected your Mac and then got into your iPhone backup? Have I not accomplished the same thing? All the pictures on your phone are backed up. All the contacts on the phone are backed up. All the text messages on the phone are backed up. Could I maybe manipulate those data sets to have the next time you jack into the side of the computer, can I insert data into your phone like apps or text messages or links or weird things? Oh, yeah. So if you have a Mac, you also need to get preventative maintenance done, especially if you don't have antivirus software. They're on special right now for half off all 3 service centers. Now, if you can't make it in today, we're open from noon to 5. And if you can't make it in next week, it's going to be beautiful today, so you have stuff to do. You can go to our website at SchrockInnovations.com where you can purchase a preventative maintenance checkup certificate for half off. It's $45. You can buy it online. It's totally secure. If you're not so hot on putting your credit card in on the website, you can actually go to one of our service centers and you can call over to any of them. You can get all the phone numbers at SchrockInnovations.com. Take care of it there. All right, so we need to draw a winner of the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Today's winner is Jeff. Congratulations, Jeff. You've got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Kathy will get that out to you on Monday. We don't have I need to set up a coupon code or something so you can use this on the website, because that'd be kind of cool, right? If I could just email you a coupon code and use it on the website. So, Jeff, Kathy will get that to you on Monday, and we'll go from there. All right, so don't miss us tomorrow on the Omaha Morning Blend. KMTV Channel 3 will be up about 9:25 over there on the Morning Blend. We're going to be talking preventative maintenance and some funny stories from the show. And thank you for joining us on Facebook as well. We'll be back here again next Sunday for another exciting edition of Compute This.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. This is News Radio 1110, KFAB, Omaha.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. President Trump working from his Mar-a-Lago resort this weekend and not offering any more details about a series of tweets Saturday accusing former President Obama of ordering a wiretap on Trump during the campaign.
Watching online, I appreciate it. Next week, with any luck, I have a new laptop coming in. Actually, this is my holiday special laptop from 2013. And it has served me well for many, many years. Unfortunately, it seems to have a trouble keeping up with the frame rate for HD video broadcasted over Facebook. That stuff didn't exist when the computer was created. You couldn't live stream on Facebook. The idea of doing that was completely foreign. And that's what we talk about, with modular computers. We've been able to stretch this thing, 4 years later to almost get the job done. But once in a while, you'll notice a little bit of chop in the video. And that's because the laptop is having trouble keeping up. So we've got a new laptop coming in for me that's going to keep up a little better, hopefully. So thank you, everybody who is watching on Facebook. I appreciate your time on there. I appreciate you letting me know that the that the Facebook page was not keeping up with everything. Let me see here. Let me get on there. That the price was wrong. I appreciate you letting me know about that. And so we got that corrected because of you guys. So you made the show better today. I appreciate that. And let me see if we have any questions on Facebook to get you. Let's see. Appreciated the honest review of Panera. You appreciated the honest review of Panera. Okay, I don't like the food very much. I got a steak sandwich there once, and I thought it was. No, I'm not going to go there because I'm still technically broadcasting. I'm not on there anymore because you got to be a little careful with stuff you say. It could be an advertiser. I don't know. It's not in my department. I have a funny CenturyLink story. I'll tell you someday. But yeah, basically, this is awesome. I'm watching right now online, and I am watching customers helping customers. This is awesome. All right, so it's time for me to head out. I got to take Jeff's call. He's waiting on hold for me here. But thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon.